All right, so back at it with another cert, another study session, and today I found that there's actually the Scrum glossary. So what I'm gonna do is condense all of my descriptions, kind of refactor them into the Scrum glossary, and really highlight roles, that kind of stuff. Um, but between all the work that I did on that practice test last time and this, I think once I go through those definitions, I may quickly review the Scrum guide and my definitions. Um, I think I'll be ready. Um, it was it was really scary last night because I failed that one practice exam. But then going through the questions, it was really encouraging because I could actually tell based on the answer they give whether or not it was outdated. Um, just based on my understanding of the PSM 2020 guide. Um, so this is the Scrum glossary. It's got everything that will probably be on the test. Not a ton of words, but some stuff that's not actually in or isn't covered in the guide. So burn down, burn up charts, um, velocity. If we go down here, like these aren't covered. No, values are. Tech debt is another thing. Even stakeholders, they never really define what a stakeholder is in the Scrum manual. So this will be nice just to go through and hopefully get some more context around um, just overall Scrum, kind of a final Hail Mary attempt before the exam. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we'll start with burn down charts and burn up charts. Yeah, let's do it that way. Burn down chart is a chart which shows amount of work which is thought to remain in a backlog. Time is shown on the horizontal axis. And work remaining is shown on the vertical axis. As time progresses, items are drawn from the backlog and completed. The plot line shows work remaining. Hold on, let's read that again. As time progresses and items are drawn from the backlog and completed. So as items are pulled, a plot line showing the remaining work may be expected to fall. So based on remaining decreases as remaining work is removed. The amount of work may be addressed in several ways, such as user story points or task hours. Could be measured many ways. User story points or task hours. Okay. The amount of work may be assessed, task hours. Okay. Work remaining in sprint backlogs and product backlogs may be communicated by means of a burn down chart. We'll say shows work remaining in backlogs. Next one is going to be burn up charts. That's so literally the opposite of a burn down chart. So amount of work completed. Time by work. Let's just say upward slope. Okay, upward slope. Story pointer task hours. May also be plotted as a line. And then we say burn up approaches the ceiling of total expected work. Coherence. The quality of a relation. So what I'm doing real quick is just adding some quick bullets. And then what I'm going to be doing is removing those over time. So we're going to be polishing them up into like nice definitions. So coherence is the quality of a relationship between hold on. Coherence is the relationship between backlog items. Oh, I see. Are related. It may be worth as a package. That makes sense. Daily Scrum. We've got notes on that, but I'll just go ahead and define it as a 15-minute developer let's do it this way. 15-minute developer run to produce plan for day. Others can attend as devs. What else is there? So daily Scrum, 15 minutes. You can assess and evaluate sprint backlog items. Let's see. They can run it however they want. They can attend. Is there anything else? I feel like this isn't enough. But the goal is to produce a plan for the day. Let's go ahead and check. For Scrum developers to track progress of a sprint, adjust backlog, and create a course of action for the next day. Yep, that's everything I said. When daily Scrum, can meet at a later time. Yep. So that's cool. We got that. And then other. So if I've already defined it, I'm just going to put it down here. This is really to build up more of a repository for the words that I don't know. So same thing with definition of done. Definition of done created by the team. Guidelines for acceptable increment on product backlog items. What would happen if the definition of done, when can they evaluate definition of done? At retro, right? So, and then it's by the whole team. So let's go ahead and check that out. So definition of done, formal description, moment backlog. Yeah. Creates transparency. It won't be shown. All scrums must follow it as a minimum. That's another good point. Defaults to org standards. and it is created by the team. Same for all teams. So those are good points to have, just to remember. And I think I have that in my definition of done. If we go, oh wait, it's gonna be way down. Moment Scrum developers have worked on product backlog item enough to meet its becomes a Scrum increment. The organization has outlined standards. Those will act as a minimum expectation, otherwise Scrum team. Shared understanding. So let's see. It's either in the retro or in planning, but I think it's in the retro that you develop the definition of done. The team discusses what went well. Most helpful changes to improve its effectiveness. Most impactful improvements are addressed. Let's say when is definition of done created? During the first sprint planning meeting. So that was the other one I was considering. So let's go ahead and look at that. To be performed. Team invites. Why is the sprint valuable? Value utility, whole team. Defines the sprint goal. What can be done to include in the current sprint? However, the more developers know, how will the work get done? Plan to work the necessary to create an increment that meets the definition of done. So if the definition of done is here, that seems like a hole. So let's go to the cheat sheet and see when it says the definition of done is created. So maybe it's in sprint planning. So then in the review, let's see. When is the definition of done created? Ooh, this is another big thing. It might be good to go through and look at musts versus shoulds. So let's go ahead and add that. Okay, so let's get back to this. And then um defaults to organizational standards. Okay. Daily Scrum, definition of done, developer. Okay. Um, so the developer who, let's say, provides value on increment, sole owner of sprint backlog items and run the only members required at daily stand up, daily scrum. Definition of done, developer. Any member of the Scrum team that is committed to creating an aspect of a usable increment. Emergence. The process of coming into existence or prominence of new facts or new knowledge of a fact, or knowledge of a fact becoming visible unexpectedly. Okay. So emergence is just it ties in with empiricism. which is actually right here. That's funny. Engineering standards. Shared set of development and technology standards that developers apply to create releasable increments of software. So we have basically standards for devs to create increments. Forecast. That's weird. Looks like my stream is struggling. I don't know if that's on my end or... whatever. All right. Forecast of functionality. The selection of items from product backlog developers deemed feasible. What? Of items from the product backlog. Oh. Okay, not product backlog developers. Items developers think seem items developers think they can handle during sprint. Increment is obviously something that's already been covered. So increment is going to be it's a stepping stone towards product goal. Includes all instead of completed, I'll say done. Provides transparency to maiden sprint. Oh, and who handles it? Increment is handled only developers. So let's just go down. Well, let's read what it says. A Scrum artifact that determines the complete value of work produced by the developers during a sprint. The sum of all increments form a product. So it seems like increments are separated. Because if the sum of all increments form a product, then that would mean that it can't be that an increment has to be that individual slice that happened during. Let's see. Is an increment the progress of a project or of a sprint? Let's see. What is an increment? Scrum.org. Each increment is additive to all prior increments and thoroughly verified. Okay, this is the exact definition from the Scrum guide. May be created within the Scrum of increments is presented, thus supporting empiricism. However, increment prior to the end of a sprint. This is the exact words in the. But here's the problem is like, when was this written? Each increment is additive. Okay. See, but that doesn't line up with what this just said. I think I really actually nailed the definition of increment based on this, but it's not helpful for the question that I have. Each increment is additive prior to being verified. So we'll just add that as a question. Is the increment, let's see. I just forgot my question. Cumulative. Definition. I actually want to make sure because I think the developers and the product owner can adjust the definition of done. Is that right? It must mutually define and comply with the same definition of done. Can when can a definition of done be altered? Oh, during sprint review, right? Definition of done may be changed at any time to reflect what a team can complete each sprint. However, changing the definition of done should be an infrequent occurrence. Who can change definition of done? Development team. Oh, I knew that it was made by the team. That was probably a dumb question. Yeah. Sprint review. Let me see. How many shoulds are there? 7? How many must? 11? How many can? 17. Okay. Let's just keep going on this. Forecast, we have the increment. Product backlog. All items around product goal managed by product owner. And single source. Let's see what it says. Scrum artifact that consists of an ordered list of the work to be done in the order to create. Oh, in order to create, maintain, and sustain a product. That's actually pretty good. Okay. Okay, so let's keep going. So that's cool. Physical board To visualize information for and by the Scrum team. To show work. Often used to manage sprint backlog. There's progress made. Optional. The Scrum guide, I don't think we need a definition on that. But (2020) Scrum guide. Oh, there it is. This is where we get the accountabilities, events, artifacts, and rules. So that's roles, events, artifacts, rules. So that one question was actually, it was right. I was just ignorant. Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master is accountable for teaching everyone about Scrum. So let's see how best to explain that. Responsible for teaching everyone about Scrum. Serves the organization, they call it a true leader, but serves the organization, serves the team, and serves the product owner, helping them find creative ways to implement Scrum and encouraging them to follow the guidelines of Scrum. So let's see what this says. Role within Scrum team, accountable for guiding, coaching, teaching, and assisting Scrum team and its environment, proper understanding of Scrum. It's interesting because the Scrum Master really doesn't do that much. Doesn't have that much like role within Scrum, but more is just like the shell of Scrum. Scrum team. Scrum team. 10 or less. People, developers, Scrum Master, and product owner. And they are responsible. They are self-directed and cross-competent. And they are what do you call that? Self-directed, cross-competent. They're all responsible for creating a valuable increment. They're also, they own, what decisions are made by the team? The decisions made by the team are the DoD. The definition of done is made by the team. The okay, let me try to finish this real quick. Okay, definition of done. Hold on. All right. So almost done. Scrum team manages the department of no. Definition of done. We have the Scrum values, which are commitment, focus, something with an O, openness. There's another C. There's, I think, adaptability is one? No. What's like being willing to try or being willing to inclusion? Let's see. Commitment, focus, openness, respect, courage. So I probably should memorize that. Scrum values. Self-managing is cross-functional. The team decides who does what, when, and how. Sprint. Okay, I'm just going to finish the rest of these that are actual definitions. So, sprint goal. I definitely have something for that. So, stakeholder. External. Required interest or knowledge in the product. Represented by product owner and included in retro. Technical debt. Unpredictable overhead. We're going to say unpredictable. Often caused by less than ideal design decisions. Contributing to total cost of ownership which, what is this, right? And then may exist unintentionally in the increment or introduce purposefully. Um, maybe um, values values the values feed into the pillars of Scrum. Values are shown in every part of Scrum. Artifacts, and then velocity is the last one. Indication of the amount of product backlog items turned into increment. So we'll say turn into increment of product during a sprint. Tracked by developers. Okay, so the next time I'm streaming, I will be going through some practice tests. And then I will also probably be just doing one final review for the exam. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.